Are you finally ready to go for God's way? Are you finally ready to go down His route? I feel like God is speaking to someone, and it's about not listening to what He said. It's about not listening to His no, to His response to your question, His reply to your desire. You see, the Israelites wanted a king so that they could be like other nations. They begged God for a king, and God said, "No, you don't want this. You don't want this. God is to be their king." But they cried out for a king, and so God eventually gave them over to that desire. 1 Samuel chapter 9, and reading at verse 2. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a handsome young man. There was not a man among the people of Israel more handsome than he. From his shoulders upward, he was taller than any of the people. He was a handsome man, taller than anyone. And this is the man who was chosen to be king. And we all know the story of Saul, that Saul eventually was rejected as king, and God instead had another person. And when we actually meet David, and David is being anointed, we're in chapter 16, and I want to read to you in verse number 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." You see, you've been asking for something, and He said no, and He's maybe given you over to that very thing that you've asked for. Or if not, maybe this is your warning. You don't want the very thing that you've asked for. Not when He said no. Not when you've had those inclinations from God that it's not really the best idea. You see, Saul was exactly what the people believed that they wanted. Taller than anyone, so handsome. And yet, Saul was the people's choice. He was the people's choice. When he failed and was rejected as king, God then comes around with the one that He has chosen. And David is a man after God's heart. And I never seen this before until this moment. That God is not looking on the outward appearance. No, we're not doing Saul again, guys. Come on. We're not doing Saul again. It's time for David. It's time for God's choice.